Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In Monster Strike, let's look at this year's collaboration with Doraemon. And they've done this every year for the past 5 years. There's a new movie every year, so they also make an appearance in Monster Strike every year. And it's always fun. And then starting last year, they made it so that you could do the max luck of all 5 of the main characters, which was pretty cool. Except for one reason, and I'll get to that later. But let's look at this year's version of Doraemon. He is wood. That is the first time that he's been wood. And stats are actually decent. Usually these Doraemon characters, they have low stats. HP is a little low. Attack is fairly good, considering that he is a minesweeper. I would say he's even comparable to like super extreme or impossible level minesweeper monsters. Speed is a little bit slow at 350 as a Pierce, but it's not a deal breaker. And then he's got a double null, the Minesweeper No Warp. And that's pretty rare for wood monsters, I feel like. Actually, let's go through and then let's look at that. Mine Warp. So yeah, very, very few. And then the first Pierce, so that's pretty special. Oops. Okay, going back to Doraemon. And then the bump combo is the Ran Kiran. Which is like the random fireball. It shoots out like, it says 7 here. It goes in totally like random directions. And it's most likely not going to hit. It's kind of considered to be the worst bump combo in all of Monster Strike. But yeah, if you are very close to a target, then maybe half of the shots will go into the target. So that's something. And then Strike Shot looks like same as a Setsuna. But obviously it's not going to have the same multipliers. And then he's the one quest, I believe, who you will farm. And then I just played his quest. It's super easy. So easy that you could farm medals in it as well. So yeah, I would say definitely go for the max luck of this guy. If you really want medals, you can make multiples of him. Okay, next up is Shizuka. And then she's the one where you complete missions, like you play, certain quests, a certain amount of times, you get more drops of Shizuka. So you're probably going to end up with the max luck of her one way or the other. But she might be the best of the 5, actually. She's a water bounce with no gravity barrier, null magic circle. And yeah, null magic circle is getting more and more useful these days. Bump combo is the Rampage Laser EL, which is crazy, especially for like such a free character like this. I think she's the second drop monster with this bump combo, so yeah, that's pretty good. It might even be worth giving her a hero skull to put the sidekick Abelberry on her. I don't know. And then Strike Shot looks like a tackle plus HP heal. That can be pretty useful. Okay, and then we get to the 3 guys. And then last year, this was kind of controversial because they had a watchtower system. Where each of the 3 guys had their own bingo board, and then to complete one of the max lucks, you had to complete that bingo board. That was way too much work for me, so I just made one of them, and we don't know if it's going to happen again this year, but it could. So yeah, let's look at these 3 and let's see if they are worth making. Thinking about if we have to do the bingo board again. So here's Giant. He's a power type again. Attack is pretty good, especially for having a gauge. HP is good, speed is not so hot. But he's a Pierce with a triple null, which is pretty great. Flight, null wind, null block. And then him being a Pierce power type means he's not going to travel very far. He'll hit like 1, maybe 2 guys and then stop. So one of the top reasons why I want to use a max luck is because they are very mobile, so they can hit my other Hatcher monsters with their stronger bump combos to get that out. Giant is not going to be good at that. His bump combo is interesting though. It's the same as Zadokiel, where he shoots out the chevrons, and then whatever target it hits will bounce off into 2. And then if those bounce off chevrons hit something else, they'll split in 2 again and then bounce off and yeah, go for as long as there are targets. It sounds good in theory, but in practice it's difficult to use. Worst case scenario is that you're just, playing against one target. The chevrons hit the target, and then they go off the screen, and that's it. And then it's not very much damage. The best case scenario is if Giant is like in the middle of the screen, surrounded by targets, and then, he hits the nearest target, it bounces off. Those two chevrons hit other targets, they keep multiplying and bouncing off. It is a little bit easy to position him because he is a Pierce power type. But yeah, I don't know, I wouldn't use him for his bump combo. And then a Strike Shot is the speed and power up, which is great, especially for a power type. And then extra damage to shields, so that's okay. Next is a Suneo, Pierce Light, Minesweeper Null Block. That's kind of nice, that double null. And actually, let's look at other Pierce Minesweeper Null Block drop monsters. Minesweeper Null Block. Okay, so we have some... let's look at Pierce as well. Alright, so not a ton. There's a few super extremes in there, some impossibles, and then Gishin Anki, which I really, really recommend to everybody. But Suneo, yeah, let's look at what else he's got. He's got the lock-on, like, giant wave, same as Hodai, not too powerful, to be honest. And then Strike Shot, every time he hits a wall, he will shoot out a laser. That is the same as Tai Kobo. Which is actually kind of cool to use and watch. But again, I don't know how powerful. His speed is also pretty low for a Pierce type, so he's not going to get a lot of lasers out. Alright, so that was Suneo. Okay, and finally is Nobita. He is a dark, bounce, flight, no magic circle, Fiend Slayer. So that's pretty good. Stats are kind of lowish overall, but speed is okay at 350. Flight, no magic circle, also pretty rare right now. And then always the Slayer is nice on drop monsters, because they need help with the attack value. Bump combo is the Kidan. This is different from the Ran Kidan. The Kidan is only one shot, but it does much more damage in that one shot. And then it will lock on to a target. So it's much better than the Ran Kidan. And then Strike Shot, let's see. Every time he hits a target, he will shoot out the spread shot, the piercing spread shot. That's pretty good because those shots are piercing. So even if you're on the opposite side of a weak point of a boss, you can still hit the weak point. So this guy, he might be the best of the three guys. So if we get that system again where you have to do the bingo board, I might make Nobita and then stop there. But even then, I don't know if I'm going to make Nobita. But let's look real quick at other bounce, flight with the null magic circle. And very few, yeah. Let's see, I do have Darwin. I have his other version, but I could slide him and use him for that. So yeah, that kind of lowers my need to make Nobita. And then there's the new character, Jurasarina. I'm actually going to make a video about her because she is interesting and then her quest is a little difficult. But she is another option. She's really slow though, so Nobita maybe is the better option than her. Same bump combo, funnily enough. Alright, so those are my thoughts on the drop monsters. So everybody should make Doraemon, and then you can use a metal farming team if you want. Pretty easy quest. Shizuka you're probably going to end up with. She's probably the best of the five. Giant and Suneo I might skip. If you make one of the three guys, I would say Nobita. Okay, so next, let's actually go into the quest where we farm for Doraemon. And we'll go in here. It's a fire quest with damage walls. The damage walls are kind of damaging, but they only come out like one at a time, so they're pretty easy to avoid. And then this is the team that I'm going to use. First is Bhante. He's a 2-star with the Blast Pump combo. He'll help me get a multiplier to the number of medals that I use, or that I get at the end of the quest. He is max luck, quote-unquote max luck at 36. You have to pull a lot in the French Hatcher in order to get him. I'm also using a Lucifer. This is my metal farming Lucifer. Score S++, S rank S++, and then the sidekick S++. No gauge too, which is important. And then Susanoo, he's another water with the null damage wall, strong bump combo, no gauge. And then the friend, I guess I go for Moses, another strong null damage wall character with a strong bump combo, no gauge. So yeah, let's head into the quest. The S rank clear is very short for this quest, but that's because it's a short quest as well. It can take like 2.5 minutes. And it's funny because Lucifer, she has the S rank Ableberry S++, which gives me an extra 2 minutes to get the S rank clear. And that's about as long as the quest is anyway, so I'm pretty much guaranteed an S rank clear. Alright. And then usually for these easy quests, I like to use as many Pierce monsters as possible, just for, greater mobility. But here I have all bounce monsters. It just kind of ended up that way, me looking at what I have in my box. But yeah, it was just the characters that I wanted to use with no gauge. And then generally, the bounce characters have stronger bump combos anyway, so yeah, that's why I went for these guys. And then a lot of the characters, and sometimes the boss, they'll have the weak point in the center of them. So things like the ricochet, like Moses has, or the chain lightning, like Miroku has, those can be pretty strong in this quest. And I was considering using Miroku, but she has a gauge, so I didn't want to deal with that. You could also use Anubis, the pretty new Transcendent monster. He's a Pierce null damage wall with no gauge, so he's pretty good. And then we want to collect the dorayaki as they drop in the mission. Because as we collect those, we can unlock other missions and then make that max luck of Shizuka and stuff. So you can wait so that it will the dorayaki will upgrade. But I think the quest is just so fast and quick and easy that you don't need, or you shouldn't wait, because it would just be too much time taken. Okay, so that was the quest. Very quick, very easy. And there's the S rank. Okay. Alright, so, got the clear time, 2 minutes. I get the 500 medals up front, and then the multipliers for, having the low rarity. And then I get the 1500 medals, and then the 1 magic stone, which is pretty great. And magic stones are important, because it takes 4 of them to get the guaranteed gold Ableberry when you're farming for Ableberries, and that's pretty expensive. If you have like 100 magic stones, and then you farm hard for a day to get an Ableberry for somebody, and you don't, if the luck is not going your way, you can eat up 100 magic stones in a day. It's pretty depressing. But yeah, that's a look at the max lucks available for the Doraemon collaboration, and then a quick look at the mission. Okay, good luck with that, and we'll see you again. Take care.